Welcome everyone to another episode of Retro Wrestling Reviews. Fredo Esparza here, and this week we look back at Mid-South Wrestling's March 25th, 1982 show. Before we get to the review, be sure to click that subscribe button. We'll have more wrestling show reviews as well as the Lucha World podcast and other content available on this channel. Show opens with Boyd Pierce being once again joined on commentary by Jim Ross. They recap last week's North American title match where Bob Roop won the title and Ted DiBiase suffered a knee injury. Jim Ross mentions there was a double cross as Roop and Orndorff came up with a strategy to get General Skandar Akbar and the one-man gang to help Orndorff beat DiBiase. Only Bob Roop stole the title shot from Orndorff. They show video of the title match. Paul Orndorff does an in-ring interview with Reeser Bowden where he talks about Bob Roop being his so-called friend and agreeing with Ted DiBiase that Roop is a no-good coward and backstabber. Orndorff accuses Bob Roop of messing with his car so that he couldn't make it on time for this title match last week. Orndorff said it was all his plan and he vowed Roop messed with the wrong man and vowed to get revenge. He mentions that he's been robbed of the North American title 2 times, first time by Jake Roberts and the second time by Bob Roop. First match to kick the show off had Paul Orndorff beating Kokoa Samoa with a power slam. This was a short match with both going back and forth with Kokoa Samoa getting in some offense. Closing moments of the match had Kokoa Samoa whipping Paul Orndorff into the corner, but Orndorff instead caught him with a clothesline. Orndorff followed that up by whipping Kokoa Samoa into the ropes and catching him with a power slam for the pin. Next match was supposed to be Bob Roop versus Buddy Landau, but Paul Orndorff returned to the ring and tells Reeser Bowden and Buddy Landau to get out of the ring. The crowd cheers loudly for him. He gets the referee out of the ring. Roop rushes out of the ring, but Orndorff chases after him and attacks him outside the ring. Orndorff sends Roop back into the ring and continues his attack. Rick Ferrara comes in to stop Orndorff, but he gets knocked down. Mike Boyer follows and Orndorff takes him out too. Tully Blanchard comes out and Orndorff tosses him over the top rope, but Roop escapes while Orndorff is distracted, getting Blanchard out of the ring. Next match was Mike Sharp beating Mike Boyer via submission with a backbreaker. Boyer bumped a lot for Sharp, but Iron Mike dominated the match. This was a pretty short match and Sharp just kept looking strong once again. That was then followed by the next match, the Junkyard Dog and Killer Karl Cox beating the Wild Samoans, Offensica, with General Skandar Akbar. The Samoans attacked Cox early, but he was able to tag JYD. Junkyard Dog beat on both Samoans. Both teams brawled throughout the match. The Samoans double headbutted Karl Cox and sent him to the floor. They tried to take on JYD 2-on-1, but JYD ducked a double clothesline and instead clotheslined both of them. JYD then grabbed Akbar and slammed him into the ring. The Junkyard Dog tossed the referee out of the ring and brawled with the Samoans. Killer Karl Cox then came back into the ring and hit the Samoans with his shovel. He knocked one of the Samoans to the outside and JYD then pinned the other to get the win. That was then followed by the one-man gang with General Skandar Akbar beating Terry Gibbs after he landed a big splash on him. This was a short match with Gibbs trying to get in some offense, but one-man gang using his size to keep him from having any success. It was weird, again, seeing one-man gang with long hair. He doesn't look as imposing as he would later with the mohawk and biker outfit. Next match was Mr. Olympia beating Tully Blanchard with an inside cradle for the pin. This was a really good TV match. Jim Ross gave some info on Tully Blanchard's athletic background in Texas. This was a fast-paced match, lots of near falls throughout. Mr. Olympia slammed Blanchard a few times and went for a splash, but Tully raised up his knees and caught him. Blanchard got Mr. Olympia with a backbreaker and then went for the pin near the ropes. Tully used the ropes for added leverage, but the referee saw it and broke it up. Tully then argued with the referee, and as he argued with him, Mr. Olympia snuck up from behind and got him with an inside cradle for the pin. Blanchard got upset after loss and kicked the ropes. I think that was the best part about Tully Blanchard, is always like doing the cowardly heel persona, and kicking the ropes, throwing a fit was part of his his personality, and I thought that was something that always added to Tully Blanchard's character. They then have a standby match to fill the rest of the show, which was Jesse Barr versus Rick Ferrara. Match ended in a no contest because of TV time running out. They did get a few good minutes in before that. So that was basically it for this show. This was a good show as they continued with what occurred the previous week between Paul Orndorff, Bob Roop, and Ted DiBiase. This time with Orndorff vowing revenge on Roop. Orndorff had a strong interview to talk about what went down with Bob Roop, and then decided he couldn't wait and came out and had an altercation with Bob Roop that was really good. The Samoans versus JYD and Cox was a fun short match. Best match on the show was Mr. Olympia versus Tully Blanchard. That was fast paced and they just looked really smooth in the ring against each other. Jim Ross was great on commentary, and he was only in for a few shows early on before coming in full time, and it seemed like Boyd Pierce really enjoyed calling the action with him. That's it for this review. Be sure to subscribe to the Retro Wrestling YouTube channel, and we will be back again soon with more reviews.